Welcome back, humans, fools, and mutated ghouls. My name is Mara. I'm a mutated zombie, and you're on the channel Beware Mutated Zombies. You don't have to beware of me, though. I'm friendly, I promise. At least so long as you're, friendly and not mean. In which case, hi. I'd like to be your friend, maybe, possibly. Today, we are continuing on our journey with Cinderella Phenomenon. And we are trying to get the princess to learn more sword fighting skills so she can go and save her Faja. Unfortunately, that's just where the story's going. It's not like I can actually level up skills or anything. That would be epic. But let's go ahead and continue on with the story and hopefully reach an end today. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully soon. I want to get a good ending with Karma. I want to save the king. I want to get the last piece of the crystal shard so the princess's curse can be broken. Mainly because I want a happy ending. Because Karma deserves a happy ending. I feel for him. He's in pain. His rose tattoo apparently is causing him pain. Which is kind of messed up. But let's go ahead and continue on. Alright. Today I will land another hit on you, Karma. If you can, darling, I welcome the challenge. Princess, your side is open. I bring my sword up closer to my side as Garland strikes me. Tonight is the first night I get to use a real sword as opposed to a practice sword. Oh dear. The sounds of metal clashing echoes into the night. Is this what a real battle feels like? We have been practicing under skirmish conditions for the last few days. Since tomorrow is the day we enact our plan, we are doing some last-minute practice. Ooh, it's soon. Soon! Remember, fighting back-to-back is better than doing it alone. Claude dodges Jurian's sword as he speaks, but I notice that he seems to be taking special care not to look in my direction. He's been fine for the last few days, but I am not sure when his pain will return. If only he would tell me what was wrong with him. When Claude finally calls the end of practice, we are all exhausted. Good job, everyone. You will all be fine tomorrow. Garland turns to face me, a soft expression on his face. And if it comes down to it, Jurian and I will protect you. Garland looks over his shoulder at Claude. Both of you. That's our job as knights. I'm quite capable of protecting myself, but I do appreciate the offer. It's late. We should all get some rest. The two knights excuse themselves, leaving me with Claude. Lilac, you should go to bed. Princess? I have a feeling I won't sleep much tonight anyway. Be that as it may, you should still try. I'm about to retire for the night as well. I want to talk to you. About what? Claude takes a step back and I stare at his hand absently as his hand absently moves to his chest. Are you really okay, Claude? I've been perfectly fine this past week. He's lying. He is obviously in pain. Why do you have to keep your pain a secret? Yeah, we know. Why won't you talk to me? I've told you before that some things are better kept a secret, Princess. Claude sighs out, then leans forward to set a hand on my head. Lilac, promise you'll stay behind me if we're attacked. And if at any point it looks like we may not make it, you're to run as fast as you can back to the marshland. That is cowardly. Lilac, don't you remember what I said before? Sometimes running is the right thing to do. Never run into an impossible situation. Instead, live to fight another day. Promise me you'll stay behind me. Please, Lilac, give me that peace of mind. If I don't promise, then he might be worried the entire time and not focus on what he needs to. And I want to give him peace of mind so that he is all focused on the battle, knowing that I will listen to him. So, I'm going to go ahead and promise. If it will make him feel better before going into this mission, I cannot deny his request. Claude's expression softens as he moves away from me. I'll stay behind you. Thank you, Princess. Let's attempt sleep in preparation for tomorrow. When this is all over, I'll pry Claude's secrets out of him. Claude/Karma. You are awesome. Tonight is the night and everyone is just about ready to go. I can't get this feeling of foreboding off my chest. Everyone is gathered close to the door, ready to see us off. Everyone except Princess. Rumple suddenly appears and he's coming up to stand right next to him. What are you two doing here? Well, of course we came to wish you good luck, just like everyone else here. We'll be waiting for you tonight so that we can celebrate everyone's return. Be careful. Emmeline, who has been everywhere with her brother since they came here, is standing right beside him now with a smile. I'll pray for your safe return. Her smile wavers, and I can tell she is uncertain. She has the great knights of Caldera, 2 witches, and a prince. She'll be fine. Rod's responses are as curt as usual, but I cannot help but notice the hesitance in his voice. Even though he stares at me without expression, I think I can see a tinge of worry in his eyes. Rest assured that we will keep the princess safe. We're not going to let Alcaster get away with what he did to Angiel and its royal family. Parfait steps forward last. She and Delora glance at each other, and I feel as if some secret message bounces between the two of them. Delora nods ever so slightly before Parfait turns to the rest of us. Her eyes eventually fall on me. You've changed since you've been here, Princess, but your dedication and resolve never wavers. Wavers. It has always been there, just beneath the surface. Stubbornness or resolve. Both. It is as if Parfait is able to read my thoughts. She smiles and she sets a hand on my shoulder. Your dedication is very much like King Gennaro's. You are proud and honorable and always take steps in the right direction. That is why I know you'll be back tonight. Just as Ripple said, we'll be waiting for you, all of you. Stay safe tonight. I nod my head as everyone gathered around begins to repeat their hearty goodbyes. It is Delora who walks away first. We all follow behind. The night has just begun. To war! Our way to the palace gates is uneventful, but we pause some distance away from them to take a shelter in a nearby alley. There are knights everywhere. Waltz points to what looks like a regular section of the wall. There's the hidden door to the tunnels. If we time it right between the knights' patrols, we should be able to make it. On my signal. Claude puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. It is an abrupt gesture and it doesn't last long, but the motion calms my nerves somewhat. We will be fine. Our footsteps echo in the tunnel. Standing in front of me are Jurian and Garland, who are flanking Waltz. Delora stands beside me and Claude is at my back. This small tunnel makes it seem like we brought a lot of people. This way. We silently follow Waltz's instructions. How is it that Waltz knows about these tunnels? I've already taken into account the guards and where they might be positioned based on Prince Rod's information. We should be all right. Garland and I will act as distractions if needed. Princess, leave most of the fighting to us, if there's any to be done. I know. I will fight only if I need to. If only I wasn't cursed, I would be able to fight to my full extent. I think you're still quite capable without all of your magic, puppeteer. Oh, a compliment? It's an honor. Miss Karma. I'm only in this dress because of Jurian, you know. Jurian crosses her arms and cocks an eyebrow at Claude. I wouldn't fall in love with you no matter what you say. That's what they all say. We're here. Suddenly, everyone goes quiet. I feel a lot heavier as I stare at the staircase in front of me. This should lead to the throne room. I did not know we had a secret passage in the throne room. How much does Waltz know about the palace? Immediately after we step into the throne room, we split apart to avoid the guards' gazes. I stick close to Claude and Waltz as Delora conjures a blanket of shimmering fog that envelops the guards. Oh, magic! I watch as the guards' eyes close. I watch as the guards' eyes close before they slump to the ground. Delora drops her hands once all the guards are truly asleep. Amazing how intolerant humans are to magic. Let's keep going. Getting through the palace is no easy feat. Hallways that are easy to get through before are difficult to traverse now with all of the soldiers standing around. Delora casts a spell to silence her footsteps into quiet muffles, but moving is still quite difficult, especially with such a group. Eventually, we arrive just outside the tunnels that should lead to the castle's prison. I'll stand watch. Be careful, Waltz. I mean, he's tiny enough. I will. We enter another network of tunnels. Jurian, Garland, after you. Jurian glances at me briefly, and then at Claude, who nods, a little stiffly. We'll be right back. In accordance with the plan, Claude and I are left at the at the halfway point of the tunnels to ensure a clean escape as Delora, Jurian, and Garland continue on to the prison. They should be fine, but I'm still worried. My eyes wander to Claude, and I bite down on my lower lip when I notice that his hand is once again raised to his chest. I find myself reaching out to grab Claude's hand, but he swiftly pulls it away. The glare on his face takes me by surprise. Why is he so angry? Claude puts a hand to his chest and flinches as he leans on the wall. Maybe he's just in pain. Not now. His voice sounds pained. What is he talking about? Claude? I just need some space, princess. But I'm fine. I cannot help but feel irritated at the way Claude has snapped at me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this way. He trails off, his eyes distant. Because of your curse, right? Most of the time he is sociable and a pleasure to talk to, but then he reverts to this state. It is like he is two different people. I cannot understand why he's like this. Why do I care so much for someone who keeps secrets? Lilac, I wish I could explain, but if I did, you would hate me. Or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. I could never be afraid of you. Why would I be afraid of you? Nah, I could never be afraid of you. I trust you too much. I trust you with my life. That is why you are my teacher. What is there to be afraid of? Claude wears a pained expression as he looks at me. I see him once again grabbing at the collar of his dress, looking like he's in some kind of quiet agony. That's what she said too. Is he talking about that one woman from before, the one who didn't love him? He thinks I'm the same? I am not like her. Lilac. Claude's voice trails off at the sound of running. His hand moves quickly to the hilt of his sword just as I reach for mine. We only relax when we see that it is Jurian, Garland, and Delora heading toward us. Why are they alone? Where are the king and queen? They weren't in the prison. What? I have no idea where else they could be. Delora steps out from between the two of them, her expression somber. This doesn't bode well for us at all. We can't keep sneaking without a direction. That makes no sense. We can't keep sneaking without a direction. What even is that sentence? That's a sure way to get caught. Ooh, alarms. The words have just left her mouth when the alarm sounds behind us. Don't tell me. It's the alarm! Everyone draws their weapons as Waltz appears, running toward us with a harried expression on his face. The knights are on their way. How do they know you are here? In seconds I hear the clanking of metal, and then there are knights upon us. We are forced to scatter to deal with different opponents. Guard rushes at me with his sword, and I somehow manage to block his attack. I should be able to wind around him. The knight falls after I catch him from behind and give Claude an opening to attack him. Lilac! Stay behind me! I promised I would, remember? Let's keep it that way. Aww. A smile flashes across his face, and for a few moments he seems more like the Claude that I know. A knight manages to separate Claude and I, leaving me by myself. He grabs my arm. Unhand me! Magic! I watch in shock as a shimmering fog surrounds my attacker, his eyes closing as he slumps to the ground. He is only the first to fall. Seconds later, most of the knights in my immediate vicinity have fallen to the ground. I can tell by the subtle rise and fall of their chests that they are asleep. Sorry, I couldn't focus long enough to cast that spell earlier. Delora drops her hands and turns to address Waltz, Claude, and I. Head toward the entrance hall. The king must be in one of the central rooms. Jurian, Garland, and I will head to the bedchambers in the east wing to look for the queen. Splitting up is not part of the plan. We don't have much of a choice anymore if we are going to get the king and queen out of here. We have to improvise. Now go. Claude grabs my hand and jerks his head to Waltz. Let's go. Three of us rush out and into one of the palace hallways. I keep my gaze forward while Waltz and Claude watch for enemies on either side of us. On our right. Claude grabs his sword and moves before Waltz and I can respond. He dives low toward a soldier, his sword poised straight for a devastating blow. Knights begin to approach us from the left, and I raise my sword, readying myself. Waltz snaps his fingers, a flash of light blinding the men in the immediate vicinity, and I use the opportunity to rush to the knights in front of me. I grit my teeth as I attack. Most of my blows are lucky. There are too many knights for me to be able to get the upper hand. There are so many of them. Well, if it isn't the most desirable princess. I whip around to attack the man that spoke to me, but he is nowhere to be found. Where is he? Who are you? I wonder. Lilac! I turn to seeing Claude running toward me, a panic expression in his eyes. I take a step toward him when a masked man suddenly blocks my path. Oh, hello. Who are you? I raise my sword, but the masked man taps his cane on the floor before I can swing. An incredible pressure blasts out from the cane. He shoves Claude to the floor and blows me backwards. I hit the wall hard and my vision darkens. Claude. Where am I? Why can't I see anything? My head hurts. Rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Excuse you. I'm Cinderella. I jerk upright at the familiar voice. You're the man who knocked me out. The man laughs and I blink as I try to pinpoint the direction of his voice. Did he blindfold me? I command you to take off this blindfold. I don't take orders from princesses that no one remembers. But I am a gentleman, so I suppose I shall have to heed a lady's request. The blindfold is abruptly pulled off, and I flinch at the sudden brightness. Why, hello there, princess. My captor looks at me, amused. He wears a crooked grin on his masked face and a cape on his shoulders. Who is he? My eyes wander to the throne, and I cannot help but gasp at what I see. The king is strapped to the throne, hands bound, mouth covered. Your Majesty! The king pauses to look at me, his eyes containing a mixture of alarm and confusion. I turn to glare at the masked man. Let him go. Go can do, princess. Though, don't you think he still looks regal sitting on his throne like that? I grit my teeth as I begin to struggle against my bonds. Struggle all you like, you won't get out of those knots anytime soon. Who are you? The masked man drops into an elegant bow. I like how he dipped there. I'm called Varg. Varg? What have you done to my father? Me? Nothing. Well, nothing much. I guess gagging a person and tying their hands behind their back counts as something. Are you working for Sir Alcaster? I don't work for anyone. So he's a mercenary? The door flies open and Alcaster steps in, his face full of anger. Mithros, you the fool! How absolutely useless he was. Varg gives a dismissive shrug. He regards me again with his mischievous smile. While I do agree with that wholeheartedly, that man is in the past. Here, in the present, we have someone far more interesting to deal with. Varg gestures at me. I glare at Varg before turning my gaze to Alcaster. I used to think Alcaster was someone to be respected. Not anymore. If it isn't the princess herself. You remember who I am? Once Mithros made the connection, it was just too obvious to be false. Could Sir Mithros remember me? Alcaster shifts his attention to the king. Gennaro, do you not remember this girl as your own blood daughter? My eyes meet the king's, but I see no recognition in his gaze. He cannot remember me. I haven't managed to break my curse yet. Why are you doing this to my father, to the kingdom? Everything I do for the kingdom. All successful rulers have run with an iron fist. Fear is the best motivation. No. A king that is too lenient and does not inspire fear has no business being on the throne. But the people of Angiel love their king. Before I had thought that the town people were despicable because they hated me. Now I understand those reasons. They may have judged me as my mother's daughter, which is wrong, but that does not mean they should be subject to a regime of fear. Your obligation as a ruler is to rule for the country, not the people. Back when the queen was still alive and this place knew the fear of the witches, they were far more productive. Fear motivates. Fear makes a man. King Alcaster, you better have a good excuse for interrupting. Your Highness, there's a beast. What are you blathering about, you fool? A beast, a magical beast is rampaging around the palace. Is this the dead witch's doing? Oh, is this the dead witch's doing? Dead witch? No, Dolores is fine. She has to be. Out with it. Did Mithros do this? What? I cannot stop myself from blurting out the question. Sir Mithros is a witch? He was a witch, but now he is dead. He turns to his knight and demands more information. I am too shocked to hear the words. Sir Mithros, a witch? Impossible. Not really. If you think about it. What are the other palace intruders? We've managed to apprehend some of them, but we cannot. Bleh. We've managed to apprehend some of them, but we can't get to everyone with that beast taking us out. That damn Mithros, still a pain even after death. What did you do to Sir Mithros? Did you not hear me, girl? He is dead, killed by my hand. But why? He was helpful at first. We worked together to achieve our own personal goals. He eyes me cautiously. He wanted you, princess. If Sir Mithras was a witch, that would explain why he still remembered me. Why did he want me? Who knows? It doesn't matter anymore. I gave him my knights to assist him in his search when the witches could not, but in the end that fool was too power hungry. He wanted me because I was to be the Tenebron bearer. You never entered into my plans. You would have been safe, princess, had you just stayed put. But now that you're here, you'll come in handy. Alcaster turns back to the knight, who immediately bursts into explanation once more. The beast is moving quickly. We don't know how much longer we can keep it from this room. There's a beast in the palace, and it's Sir Mithras' doing? I am so confused. And what of the others? Are they okay? Let me go, Alcaster. You are not going anywhere. It sounds like some of your friends are very persistent. They'll be coming for you, and when they get here, I will kill them. You, princess, are going to make excellent bait. You know, I like this turn of events. Kind of amusing. You, tell me what all of this is. Varg looks unmoved by Alcaster's anger. It is Mithras that summoned this beast, is it not? Then you must know what is happening. You're asking me, of all people? Ha! As if I would be able to answer any of your questions. You. That was an interesting roar. Varg. It doesn't matter how many times you say my name, Alcaster. I won't have any answers for you. Okay. Sir Alcaster turns to me, his eyes manic. Whether this is Mithras' magic or magic belonging to one of your friends, I'm not going to let it live. Could Delora create a beast out of thin air? Sir Alcaster draws his sword from his sheath and curses under his breath. I squirm, desperate to find some kind of break in my restraints. Varg surprises me, however, by reaching down and cutting the ropes, binding my arms with a sword that I recognize. You have my sword! I stand up as quickly as I can and grab the sword from him. That was too easy. I eye Varg warily as his mouth twists into a smirk. What are you doing? Why are you helping me? Help? All I did was cut some ropes. Besides, I'm curious to see what you'll do with that toothpick of a sword. He talks to me like he doesn't care at all what happens. Don't think about it too much, princess. It's probably a little too much for your small head. I swing my sword toward him and Varg watches it with his cane. You really think that I'm the one you should be fighting? Yes. Yes, I do. The door creaks and falls off its hinges. The knights stumble back, and I hear screaming as loud footsteps sounds against the hall's tiles. What? So what will you do? Run? Hide? Or will the beast kill you too? Whoa. My eyes focus on the large figure entering the room. Though I cannot make out specifics at first, the form grows more distinct the further it moves into the room. Whatever this is, I cannot fight it. There's a moment of eerie silence, and then Alcaster yells and the knights rush forward, attacking the beast as a collective. The beast throws them off with surprising nimbleness, his rage in every swipe. I dodge away just before a man's body falls on top of me. Over here, beast. See, you say that it gets clear, but we just get this shadow. Sir Alcaster rushes at the beast. I finally manage to get a clear line of sight to the king, who is still bound and helpless on the throne. The king. I have to get him out of here. I run toward the throne, but someone stops me dead in my tracks. Saving the king really shouldn't be your priority right now. I think it should be. I grit my teeth and swing my sword at Varg, but he easily darts away from me. I would be watching my back. It is then that I notice the beast slowly making its way toward me. Why would it be after me? Either I stay here and I fend it off, or Alcaster catches the beast with a broad swipe of his sword, and the two are focused once more on each other. I glance urgently at the king, then at the doors. The beast moves again, and I realize that it is once more heading toward me. There's no way I can help the king in all of this mess. I need help. I need to find the others. Hopefully Alcaster will keep this beast busy long enough for me to get to them. I turn and bolt through the room, weaving my way through the chaos of knights as I head toward the door. I glance over my shoulder one last time at the king. His eyes are trained on the battle before him. His hand grips the arms of his throne, but there is nothing he can do. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. But for now, I have to find the others. You're lucky that... I'm pretty sure that's Karma / Claude. But also, if that were just some random animal and not a beast that is just seeming to be after you, you running out of the room would allow that animal to just eat your father, who is a free meal at that point. But I'm pretty sure this is karma, so you don't have to worry about that. But also, just like, why? Why would you do that? I dart past the carnage in the room, stepping over and around bodies as they appear. Halfway to the door, the beast lunges past Sir Alcaster. For a few moments, I think he might be attacking me. Stay back. I hold my sword out in front of me and stand in a defensive position like Claude taught me, but the beast never reaches me. You've ruined everything, beast. Alcaster is suddenly in front of me, waving his sword at the beast. I stumble back towards the doors, my heart beating loudly in my chest. I have to get out of here. Chapter 10, The Beauty and the Sinner. Where did the beast come from? Knights immediately rush toward me. I back away as far as I can without re-entering the throne room. Princess, come quietly in. We'll keep you somewhere safe until it all dies down. I raise my sword and stand ready when the knights surround me. I order you to stay out of my way. Our apologies, Princess, but we are under orders from the king. Alcaster is not the true king. What did he offer you for your loyalty? Wealth? Status? That is none of your concern. One of the knights moves toward me and I react on instinct, swiping at them. You might want to put that down before you hurt yourself, Princess. Do not antagonize me. One knight rushes me and my blade connects with his shoulder. Another pushes me from behind and I hit him with the back of my sword. The third moves too fast for me and I feel his blade cut into my shoulder. I hiss at the pain that stings from the wound. I'm bleeding. The next time he swings, I successfully manage to evade him, but then bump into another knight. I'm surrounded. Just come with us, Princess. We don't want to hurt you. No. I feel one of the knight's hands on my shoulder. I attempt to pull away from him, but stop when I hear him scream. Oh! The beast stands behind me, eyes narrowed, its mouth gaping wide. A scream escapes my throat. The knights change their focus to attacking the beast, but it easily swipes them away as it advances toward me. It's getting closer. I desperately back up. However, my back soon hits a wall, and with nowhere else to go, I stand in a defensive position that Claude has taught me. I hold up the sword and then use it to throw back the beast's shadowed claw as he reaches out for me. That stance. It talks. Stay away from me. The beast moves toward me again, and I stumble in place, struggling to hold my ground. A knight throws his sword, the blade impaling itself into the beast's shoulder and giving me an opening. The beast's wounded arm swings into my reach, and I lash out with my sword, managing to draw blood. Princess. Jalora would never create a beast like this. This has to be Sir Mithras' doing. An attacking knight catches the beast's attention, and I do not wait. As the beast turns, I raise my sword and manage to slide it deep into the beast's chest. Aww. A piercing cry erupts from somewhere deep in its throat, and I stumble back with my sword, which is still stabbed through the creature's heart. The beast collapses to the ground. I stare as it raises a hand to its chest. See, okay, it talks. It says, that stance and princess. It says those words, and you attack it. Like, how else would a creature that can speak let you know that it's friendly other than coming towards you? It has not attacked you. It's just been like following you around and being like, it's reaching out for you, and you swipe at it, and it's like that stance. And you're like, ah, princess, plunge into the sword, and then it dies. And like, just why? Why would you do this? Think, person, think. The beast collapses to the ground. I stare as it raises a hand to its chest. That motion reminds me so much of, right, it was all an illusion. A glimmer of light catches my eye. I freeze as I stare down at the ground. Right there, where the blood is already pooling around the sword in the beast's chest, is a rose-shaped locket. The locket I gave Claude. Why do you... The beast stares up at me with glassy eyes, its mouth barely moving. After a few moments, a low rumbling comes from the beast's throat, and I realize that it's a grisly pain chuckle. Afraid of me, I told you. The beast stares at me unblinking, but its eyes are already beginning to haze over. The way it speaks, and the locket that it has. I look at the locket again, at the blood seeping beneath the surface, and suddenly I realize. If I ever told you the reason, you would hate me, Lilac, or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. I kneel down beside the beast. I was wrong. No, no, no. Claude. I clutch the locket to my chest as I kneel over the beast. Claude, no, please. I lean down to listen to his breathing, but there is nothing but silence. Everything around me goes dark. I killed him. There's the sound of footsteps behind me, but they are mute, unimportant. Claude. Oh, hey. Tears. Claude, I am so sorry. The end. So I got the bad ending. Yup. Got the bad ending. Oh. That's it. That's it. That's how it ends. Really? Wow. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna do a Google search here. Claude. So 7 out of 22. 31% wrong choices. So I think it's true that you have to get all of the answers correct in order to get a good ending. I don't think there's a way to get a freaking good ending unless you get every single thing right. I'm gonna see if I can just speed through and get the good ending. I'm just gonna speed through. Would you like to be... No. Skip! I'm still Lilac. You've unlocked the fast forward feature for the Okay, cool. Yeah, fast forward. Fast forward. Yes. Ah. Are you sure you want to skip to the next choice? Yes. I have no questions. Skip. I'll just stay silent. You hate me. You have no right to start acting the victim now. Not when you've treated my family with such disrespect. Oh, mermaid. The only reason I didn't say anything before is because Emmeline didn't want me to. I'm happier too, now that you're gone. I don't have to pretend to like you anymore. Oh. Skip! I don't remember this, but, stay silent. Skip! Karma! I was also told that to get the good ending, you have to choose karma both times. Like, whoever your romantic interest is, you have to choose them twice. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was told, so I'm gonna choose him twice. Yes. Choose karma again. What happens the second time? I find karma sitting at one of the tables looking out the window. You're being quiet today. What a rare sight. Oh, princess. Why would you be so surprised to see me? Because it's an honor every time you visit me. Have you come for my advice? I want you to tell me how to do a good deed. My, so straightforward. What is he talking about? It's really simple. You just do something without strings attached. No strings attached? Yes, you do something for someone without asking them to pay you back. It is hard to wrap my head around doing such a thing. Why would I do something without needing to? Have you done such a thing for someone before? Of course I have, princess. That was a long pause. It was only a thoughtful one. Right. Is that all? I believe so. That tidbit of wisdom ought to serve you as well. Skip! Skip! It's terrible. Yep. Stand up for Rumple. And Skip. I know I said go outside last time, but I don't remember which one was supposed to be the thing. So I'm gonna look it up, and it says to remain inside. So I'm gonna remain inside. On second thought, maybe it would be dangerous. It would be dangerous. I turned and see Delora looking at me with amusement flickering in her eyes. Did you come down to visit Mr. Broom or something? I didn't know you two had gotten so close. We haven't. It was a joke, Princess. You really don't have a sense of humor, do you? She does. It comes in later. I think it is you who does not have a sense of humor. Snappy as a crocodile as always. So what are you doing down here? Couldn't sleep? Me too. I heard some sounds. I just wanted to see where they were coming from. Sounds? Are you really so spooked by some sound from the forest? Or are you just too curious for your own good? Curiosity killed the cat, you know. I did not ask for your opinion, Witch. Oh. Well, the both of us could use some fresh air, don't you think? Oh, okay, so she brings me out there. Come on, I know a place we can go. She brings us to him. Okay. I can see why you wouldn't tell her. Because she's better than me. No, because if you told her and she refused, then it would be difficult afterwards. You understand, Princess. Of course I understand. I'm not stupid. No, I didn't mean it like that. Don't take offense, Garland. That's just the way she talks. The princess is a fragile flower with her petals always curved inwards. What does that even mean? See, if it were Jurian, she'd probably know. But I'm just as confused as you are. I don't think so. I don't think anyone understands half the fluff Karma speaks. It's because I weave love and dedication into every single one of my words. There's a beauty in deciphering them. But enough idle chatter, sir. Let us continue our training. That's cute. Skip! Cupcake with the lizard, and Skip. Ooh, this time, tease Karma. I learned, this one stuck with me because I really wanted to tease him, but I wanted to be nice, so I tend to leave, but apparently he likes to be teased. That's his kink, so. He obviously wants to leave, but I cannot help myself. Miss Karma, I do wish you would say something. At the very least, you should thank this girl for her compliment. Oh no, it's quite all right. Come on, Karma, you're usually the most charming person on these streets. Thank you. He sounds like he's dying now. I cannot help but start laughing again. The small annoyance on Karma's face seems to dissipate completely. Leaving. He takes my hand and curtsies politely to the girl as he pulls me away. Karma, you sound sick. It's run out. Oh, so he doesn't, like, get upset about, or, like, say, why'd you have to do that? He's just like, it ran out. I'm sad. And then she's like, oh, it's okay. Whatever. Skip! I think for this one I said fight back. So skip, because I know what happens there. The lips! And skip! This one, it's try to convince them. Fighting back is useless when I am outnumbered. I have to try and convincing them that I am not who they think I am. You're mistaken, sirs. I happened to overhear your conversation, and assuming I am some imaginary princess is unreasonable. The knights look at each other. You know, she has a point. She was listening in on our conversation. That's clearly suspicious. Did you not hear what I just said? I happened to overhear it, nothing more. You were cloaked, as if you were trying to hide your features. Being out at night without a cloak is a sure way to draw attention to a lady such as myself. You know, she has a point. Stop saying that, man! Then, ma'am, there should be no problem with us taking you back to the palace. If we are mistaken, we'll clear up the misunderstanding and pay you handsomely. Come on, let's take her to the palace. The knights lead me out onto the empty streets. Why? Why did I have to be so stubborn? Okay, so it still happens, but it's less dangerous-y until Karma gets here, and then things happen. For this one, he wanted me to step away from him. I take a step away from him, and Karma's hands fall from my shoulders. He sighs out. The story better be just as dramatic as mine. Thank you, Lilac. For what? For agreeing to listen. And for what you just did. Stepping away from him? Was I distracting him? Once upon a time. Oh, okay. And then he goes into his tale. Skip! You have to tell Jorian. Skip! Bite his hand! And Skip! Scold him! And Skip! Aaron's first and Skip! Oh, what? I think I said I came to give you something and that was the wrong one. I'm gonna double check here. Yep, it's I came to speak with you. I came to give him something, but I also want to speak with him. I haven't seen Claude in a while. Why? Because you've been doing everything by yourself lately? You came to complain? No, I wanted to check on you. Princess, can you not read the mood? You could have, at the very least, knocked. And then we get this karma scene. He's so sad and in pain, but Skip. Turn and point your sword at him. Attack! And Skip! Oh, I think this one is I want a hug. Huh? Claude looks at me in surprise. He thinks I am being foolish for making such a request, doesn't he? I shouldn't have said anything. But before I can say anything else, Claude takes a step forward and wraps me in his arms. He pulls me toward him, and in those moments of silence, all I can hear is his heartbeat resounding in his chest. I can feel his warmth all around me, and his fingers clasped gently at my back. I feel so strange. My heart is racing, my knees feel weak. Something like this? He speaks right into my ear. It is a surprisingly pleasant feeling. Suddenly, Claude makes a noise of distress as he steps away from me. All of the warmness that was pressed against me 1 moment ago is gone. Oh, the thing happened. Carbus suddenly stops, his eyes wide. He puts his hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Oh, yeah, and there he is in pain. Oh, so sad. So sad that we're gonna skip it. I believe this one is thank you. I'm gonna double check. My memory is leaving me. Yep, it's thank you. And Skip. I want to talk to you! All day, every day. I promise. And Skip. This one is I could never be afraid of you. Okay, so I was right. On that one. Okay. Let's see, Skip. Here is the monster that is Karma Claude. Claude Armor. Carmod. The Beauty and the Beast. Where'd the beast come from? Knights immediately rush toward me. I back ways. This is where the fight happens. Beast stands behind me. Its back to me. Oh, I stand in its shadow and I realize that if turned around, it could swap me to the walls just like the rest of its victims. But it's just standing there. Together. Together? The beast says nothing more. Though I still feel on edge, there's something oddly familiar about this. Claude told me once it was better to fight back to back. I will trust you for now, whatever you are. I do not know if it understands me, but I can hope. It seems more like a human than any kind of animal. Princess, get away from the beast. It will... The knight never finishes his sentence as the beast sends him flying through the air. Why is it helping me? The knights fall like dominoes set to the beast, but manage to remain standing when I strike them with my sword. Even just taking one down is so hard. These men have trained for years, while I haven't even had a luxury of a year. Out of the corner of my eye, since movement, I see a gleam of silver and hear a grunt as a sword is raised into the air. The sword is nowhere near reaching me, but the beast. I aim a kick at an approaching knight before whirling around to look at the beast. The oncoming sword comes closer to the beast's exposed back, and I know the beast will not be able to dodge in time. Move! I shove past the creature and catch the knight's sword with my own before it can harm the beast. My arms are shaking underneath the strength of the impact between our swords. I feel like my arms are going to give out. Then a flash of light appears so bright that everyone is temporarily blinded. I stumble back, rubbing at my eyes. From the sounds of it, the beast is continuing to drive back the knights, most of them shouting to each other to retreat. What was that? When I am finally able to see again, my eyes automatically land on my feet. I stare in shock. You're wearing the glass slippers now. Instead of a necklace, you're okay. Okay. I quickly reach up to my pen and realize that is no longer there. I completed my 3 good deeds. Lilac. It knows my name. I look around and realize that the beast and I are alone. The knights have fled. Did the beast drive off the rest of them? I feel a pressure at my back and realize that the beast is touching me. My first instinct is to run, but the words it utters next paralyze me. You okay? Every word sounds breathless in pain, like it takes too much to speak. It is worried about me? I watch in shock as the beast appears to gesture towards my shoes. You did it. I step back warily. What are you? The beast reaches out and I see something glittering in the palm of its hand. The rose locket. For a few moments my heart plummets into my stomach and my hands begin to quiver. What did you do, Claude? The beast's shadowed fingers curl over the locket even as he stares at me. I gave that locket to Claude. Oh, what did you do to Claude? Ha! I gave that locket to Claude. The beast only stares at me for a few moments longer, and then suddenly I realize that his words, nothing more than a pained growl, do not hold any malice. I gave that locket to you? The beast slowly nods. My grasp on my sword loosens as I stare at him in shock, realization dawning upon me. Claude? Yes. So this is your secret? Why would you not tell me? I could have hurt you. Claude has another form, a cursed form, and he never told me. Why? As my mind whirls, I feel everything coming together like pieces of a puzzle. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak on them, I would. But I can't. Lilac, I wish I could explain. You would hate me, or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. All those times, Claude was clutching at his chest. You were touching your tattoo so many times before, like you were in pain. The beast growls, and the sound is surprisingly soft, almost a sigh. Curse. The tattoo was a warning. The first time I saw the tattoo, it was a beautiful rose. The second time, it had more thorns. When the rose became ensnared in thorns, did he transform? And he always touched his tattoo when he came too close to me. Claude, your curse did not just make others fall in love with you. It stopped you from loving anyone too, didn't it? He mentioned that woman before, the one who he thought loved him but didn't. Is it possible that she saw him in this form and was terrified of him? If you loved anyone, you would turn into a beast. You loved a woman once, but she only loved you because of your curse. The minute you transformed, she was scared of you. Wasn't she? Yes. He sounded so pained. The reason Claude has been trying to hide everything from me is because he is scared that I would have feared him. That is why beauty has always been so important to him, but the curse cast upon him makes him both beautiful and a beast. I wanted you to love me, but no one could love a beast. His words were dwindling. It almost sounds like he's being suffocated on the inside with how slowly he's speaking. Claude, I've never cared much about appearances. People have worn masks on their faces their whole life around me. Claude, I take a deep breath and face him. I will love you, no matter what form you take. I drop my sword to the ground and make my way over to him. I rest my cheek on his chest and wrap my arms around him. I love you. Ah. The room is filled with a bright but gentle light. It almost feels like I am bathing in sunlight. For a few moments, I forget my worries. Everything feels blissful and quiet, and my heart feels full. Then, moments later, I feel warm arms around my waist. I love you too, Lilac. Ah. And he's not naked. And his clothes aren't torn to shreds either. Wow. Magic. When I open my eyes, I still can't see anything, even though I know that the light has faded. That warmth is still there too, but now I feel it immediately on my skin, and I realize that is because Claude is hugging me. Not as a beast, but as a man. Did I break his curse? I realize this is the first time Claude has ever touched me for a long period of time without abruptly moving away. Tentatively, I move my hands, feeling the fabric of his shirt and the warmth of him underneath it. Claude. Before I can finish my sentence, my lips are sealed. I feel Claude's lips on mine, only briefly, but it is enough to make me suddenly feel faint. Of course you would faint. He pulls away from me with a brilliant smile. I've always wanted to do that. Ah. Lilac, you're blushing. If I could, I would kiss you again, but we have some urgent things to attend to. The reality of this situation begins to seep back into me. My father, Varg, Alcaster, they are still in the throne room. The king. Let's go, Lilac. When Claude and I rush into the throne room, my attention is immediately grabbed by the king calling my name. Lilac! He is still bound to the throne, though. His gag is removed. A rush of relief floods through me. He's alive, and he remembers me. My gaze is drawn to the two men battling at the base of the throne. Their swords are locked together in a stalemate. Alcaster and... Fritz? What has happened here? This is not how you gain power. I knew you would be a thorn in my side from the moment I concocted this plan. Where is Varg? The only one here is me, and I will... Fritz's concentration slips as his eyes land on me. The opening is small, but it is enough to give Alcaster the opportunity he needs. Watch out! Claude is already running over to help, but even he is too slow. Alcaster disarms Fritz before driving his sword through Fritz's chest. You would kill your own son? What? Wait, this isn't even happening either, because Fritz is dead! What? What is this bullshit? What? 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 No! Alcaster pulls the sword out of Fritz's chest just enough to deflect Claude's attack. As Claude drives Alcaster away from the throne, I rush to where Fritz has collapsed to the ground. His eyes are already growing glassy. Fritz! I lean over him. There's so much blood. I glare at Alcaster. How could you do this to your own son? Anyone in my way will meet my sword. Blood does not matter. Ah! Princess. I turn back to Fritz in alarm, tears in my eyes. Fritz, hold on. Don't speak. You need to conserve your energy. Princess, I'm sorry. Fritz, please don't. Don't speak. I feel bitter tears stinging in my eyes. I'm sorry. I watch as the life seeps from Fritz's eyes. I put my hand to his chest to feel for a heartbeat, but Fritz's body is still. Fritz! Fritz, why? What is this bullshit? I glance up at the sound to see Claude at the far side of the room, struggling to get to his feet. Lilac, watch out! I turn, but I am not fast enough. I see Alcaster's sword raised high in the air, and I know it will reach me before I can pick up my sword. Magic! Sword falls from Alcaster's hand as a bright red ribbon of light twines around the hilt and drags it far from reach. I turn and I see Delora standing a short distance away, Jurian, Garland, and Waltz all standing behind her. I'm afraid your performance as king has been incredibly disappointing. Jurian and Garland move together, rushing Alcaster from the same side. I see Claude moving in from the other side, quiet and lethal. Princess. Waltz and Delora rush over to me as the fighting continues. Alcaster has reclaimed his sword and is trying to evade attacks from 3 different swords at once. The king. Waltz nods at me, his eyes lingering on Fritz as his expression becomes solemn. He walks off to the throne while Delora kneels beside me. Delora shakes her head, and that is all I need to know, that there is nothing more to be done. We will make sure he is properly honored, but for now we need to get you out of here. What about Ophelia? Waiting for us somewhere safe. I constructed a shield around her that will keep her hidden from view and harm until we return for her. You couldn't put something around us to keep us hidden from view? When we were here? Going through the palace? Weren't we meant to bring the royal family back to the Marchen first? Not when we're missing the king. Besides, plans change when a magical beast starts rampaging in the castle. Princess! I turn to look at Alcaster, who is still somehow managing to scream my name despite the fact that he is being quickly overwhelmed. Princess, we could have worked together. Nuh-uh, you killed Fritz. If you were more like your mother, you could have ruled with grace, beauty, and fear. Ew, this dude probably wanted to marry me. Ew. I flinch back and Delora's hands come to rest on my forearms, her grip steadying. That is enough. I look up and see that the king has stopped to stand beside me. To my surprise, the king rests a gentle hand on my shoulder, his eyes soft as he looks at me. Lilac, we have a lot to talk about, but right now I have something I must do. I nod mutely and watch as the king draws his sword. He makes his way to Alcaster. Jurian, Garland, and Claude step back from where they have forced Alcaster to a knee. You're a traitor lacking any honor, Alcaster. You are the one that lacked honor. A ruler must have the people beneath his thumb. A ruler must lead people, not suffocate them. His oath as king is to protect them. You are no king, Alcaster. For your crimes, I find you guilty and incapable of rehabilitation. The sentence for the severity of your crimes is death. The king raises his sword, and I turn away before he strikes down his sword. There is no sound or scream to follow. I turn once more to see that the king has pointed the sword at Alcaster's chest, but has not killed him. You will stay in the prisons until the time of your trial comes. Though you might try to refute these claims, you will be tried as a traitor to this kingdom, and then you will be executed. Alcaster's shoulder Alcaster's shoulders fall. The glare never leaves his face, not even when the guard sees him and drag him from the room. The king immediately sends Jurian and Garland out to deal with any knights that are still a part of the coup. Delore and Claude help with moving Fritz's body, while Waltz tries his best to fill the king in on the most basic points of our successful operation. Everything has died down a little bit over the last hour, but I still feel overwhelmed. I glance at Waltz and the king, who are still speaking. Every time the king sees me looking at him, he flashes me an uncertain smile before glancing away. I know he wants to speak with me, but I will talk to him after. After I can get Fritz's body out of my mind. It was my fault he died, wasn't it? He saw me and stumbled. Hey, princess. What are you doing here? Here I thought you'd changed, but you still got some feistiness in you, don't you? Many years ago, when the war ended, we were all faced with a feeling just like this, princess. We had lost so much, and the future seemed so grim. But now it's different. You have a future. You broke your curse, princess. That gives you some kind of hope. And in addition, you broke Karma's. Memories of Claude's arms around me, of his lips on mine, come flying back to my foggy mind. My heart still feels tight, but it is a little lighter when I think about him. I wish he was here right now. How did I break Karma's curse? Or Claude's curse? Claude. I don't think I'll ever get used to his real name. Seems like he hasn't told you yet. I guess it's been pretty hectic. So Claude turned into a beast because he loved me? Well, I guess I could give you the laydown of this curse. Stop! Desist! Delore has not even started to speak when Claude runs into the room, gasping as if he's been running through the halls. Curse! Are you speaking of my curse? There's no way he heard us talking in the hallway, is there? Even I feel at a loss for words right now. I said that you might be talking about me. The princess was just asking me about your curse. Oh, then I was right to come running. And here I was just guessing at what you might be talking about. Claude's curse was based off the tale of the Beauty and the Beast. Claude easily finishes her sentence. Delore holds up her hands as if to surrender. So eager to steal the spotlight. Well, you are talking about me after all. You always told me that your curse was the Beauty's curse, though. Well, yes, because the other half was a little difficult to explain, wasn't it? He has a point, though I think he might have been able to save us all the trouble if he hadn't been so secretive about his curse. He really must have been scared that I would shun him. Allow me to explain, princess. In the fairy tale, a prince of a kingdom is transformed into a beast because his heart is as cold as ice. Sounds familiar to a certain icy princess, eh? Just trying to lighten the mood. Claude sighs. I would call Lilac something far more flattering, like my sweet beloved. We were talking about your curse. Oh, it's cute. Oh, right. Well, anyway, the witch who cursed the prince in the tale tells him that he has to learn to love and be loved before the petals of a rose completely fall off. A rose? Yes, she gives him a rose, and he keeps it protected under glass. Some time passes, and the rose continues to wither away. The maiden finds the beast, and eventually she falls in love. At the end of the tale, she confesses her love to the beast, and he transforms back into a human. By confessing, I saved you? But his curse was different from the tale. I know what you're thinking, that my curse was different. It was more complicated. The witch made it so that I was both the beauty and the beast. She said it suited me because I was so vain. The witch constructed a very roundabout curse. Any woman who falls in love with me as the beauty. But when I transformed into the beast, the enchantment would break and they would become terrified of me. I doubt Claude ever thought he would break his curse. The loved woman felt for him while he was cursed was always fake. How could that kind of love hold strong when he turned into a beast if it was never true to begin with? Then you came along, princess. I bet he just about given up hope and was waiting for you to dispel the curse on your birthday, but now here you both are. But the ice princess, in love? What a miracle. I turn away embarrassed. It's not a miracle. I am very glad I met you, Lilac. Lady Delore's words are the truth. I had just about given up hope. I never had any hopes of breaking my curse. I had thought the only way to fix it would have been to dispel it on your birthday. But then I came to know you, and he fell in love. A fairy tale indeed. You started out frowning at everyone and everything. You've come a long way, princess. Congratulations. You turned out to be a pretty okay princess. You turned out to be a pretty okay witch. Gasp! Do my ears deceive me? A compliment from our little witch? You look so surprised, but you'll be the new bearer of our crystal real soon, princess. I expect good things from you. Right, I almost forgot about that part. I'll try my best. Yet another miraculous proclamation from the little witch. Will the surprises never cease? Before I can snap at Delora again, the king awkwardly interjects, coming to stand next to us with Waltz by his side. Pardon the intrusion. Oh, not at all, your majesty. Waltz told me that you were cursed. That's why I forgot about you. Yes. Even if it was by a curse, I feel terrible that such a thing could have ever happened. So I'll make it up to you. We can catch up from where we were many, many years ago, and maybe things can be different. I'm sorry. What for? For being the way I was before, for shunning Ophelia and her children. Oh. Ophelia, did they bring her back to the Marchand? Ophelia is still here. After the fight was over, she was shown back to her room. She is still waiting for Rod and Emily to return. Now, would you maybe be willing to tell me this story from the beginning? Perhaps I could fill in the gaps, your majesty. Claude? The king looks startled when he stares at Claude. He blinks as if he just noticed his appearance. Oh, and you are? Claude elegantly bows before the king. I am Prince Claude of Brigantia. A pleasure to finally meet you, your majesty. The lost prince? The king turns to me with a puzzled look. It's a long story. Claude surprises me by wrapping an arm around my shoulders and pulling me closer to him. Everyone looks shocked except for Delora, who looks like she is trying not to laugh. As the princess's lover, I feel it is my obligation to help her explain this whole mess. Wow! I feel my face getting hotter at Claude's sudden proclamation. All their eyes are now on me, and I suddenly feel like hiding myself. Only Claude would so bluntly say such a thing. The king looks more shocked than anything. When did this happen? Well, your majesty, I think we had better start at the beginning. We were able to tell the king everything, save for where Varg had disappeared to. Wait, no one was sure where he had gone in all the chaos. The knights' searches for him all ended in failure. A lot of explaining had to be done, not just to the king, but also to the people of the tavern. As soon as everything has calmed down, Rod and Emmeline finally went back to the palace. I apologized to them as best I could, and they all seemed willing to try again with me, and I'm willing to try again too. As for Claude... So you're going back? Are you sure you don't want to come to Brigantia with me just for a short holiday? I would love nothing more than to introduce you to my family. Mother would shower you with gifts. Father would, well, tease you probably. He makes jokes frequently. And Llama. What did you say? Llama? He has a pet llama? My brother, Llama. What? Another acronym. We're Karma and Llama. Does your father do these things on purpose? I told you he likes jokes. My brother's real name is Lance. I was going to bring you back and introduce the two of you. And you could tell my little brother how very charming I am. Is it just my imagination, or is there a glimmer of competition in his eyes? As much as I would like to meet your family, you have your own obligations here, and you need to let your family know that you are safe and alive. With the thought of being separated from you, Claude sighs before he leans down and plants a kiss on my forehead. I'll miss you. You won't be gone that long. Love, that's not how you're supposed to respond. You're supposed to say, my sweet prince, I'll miss you too. Fine then, I'll miss you. Maybe. Claude raises an eyebrow at me and then smiles. We'll be back for your birthday. I love you, Lilac. It has only been a few weeks since Claude left, but I am impatient. The king has been throwing grand dinners every night in preparation for my birthday, but I can hardly concentrate on anyone else when I am thinking of Claude. I told him about all of the smaller birthday celebrations. I thought he would be here for them. My birthday is in a few days. When will he come back? I have tried to make myself busy, mainly by continuing my sword practices with Jurian and Garland, who have both rejoined the Order of Caldera. Every time I am around knights, I think of Fritz. I shall bring some new flowers tomorrow. If Claude would just return already, we could go pay our respects together. Hello, Lilac, my love, my sunshine, my beautiful betrothed. Claude? I shake my head and try to gather my thoughts. First of all, you did not knock. Second, we are not engaged. We may as well be, don't you think? At the very least, knock before you come in. You started this. Still worried I would come in on you in the middle of changing? Would you have minded so terribly? Yes! It's worth saying those things to you just to see you blush. Why are you even here? His arrival is so sudden, and I had absolutely no time to prepare. Claude sighs dramatically. You didn't want me back here? No, I mean, why? You didn't even write to say you'd be back today. I just wasn't expecting you. I did say I would be back for your birthday. I'm a man of my word. Should I have stayed out longer? No, of course not. I grumble as Claude walks over my bed, grinning. He sits down on the bed next to me and wraps an arm around my waist, pulling me closer. I sigh out and lean my head on his shoulder. It is It is a startling contrast to what it used to be. Before I touched him, he would flinch and turn away from me. Now he is always right next to me. Claude's whole body seems to relax when I tentatively wrap my arms around him and hug him back. I knew I would miss you, but it really was terrible being away from you. But you enjoyed the time with your family. I did. My brother was very frustrated that I spoke about you almost every hour of the day. How could you have that much to say about me? Oh, I felt that I didn't have enough time to list off all of your virtues. I nudge him in the arm, but he just grins at me. A glint from Claude's pocket catches my eye, and I flush proudly when I notice the rose locket. Looking at the locket makes me think back to that night when he transformed back into a prince. Lost in thought, are we? I was just noticing the locket. You still carry it around with you? Of course I do. It has become my most valuable possession. He pulls the little locket out and pops it open. I am startled when I see the small sheet of paper and with my own words on it. My message to him is still there. Claude smiles as he reads the word aloud. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I say nothing when he turns to look at me. Oh, your cheeks are red again. Your embarrassment is adorable, darling. I am not embarrassed. I just didn't think he'd keep the words in there or that they would ever mean so much to him. Yes, of course. You just have exceptionally rosy cheeks. He pauses as he closes the locket again and looks at it fondly. I love this locket because it is the first gift you gave me. He was holding the locket as the beast too. It was half the reason I recognized him. I jump as Claude gently taps my nose with his finger. This locket isn't going anywhere anytime soon, I can assure you. I smile as he winks at me. Anyway, allow me to pull you back into the present. Since I promised you no more secrets, let me tell you something. Oh? Claude looks away from me, his eyebrows furrowing, and I frown. I hope it's nothing serious. I'm nervous about sitting down to dinner with your father's knight. You're nervous? I start laughing without meaning to. You're laughing at my pain, princess? He pulls me closer and kisses the top of my head. You are too flamboyant to be nervous. I'm confident, princess, not flamboyant. There's a difference. Right. Claude's expression grows more solemn. He looks at me seriously, almost sadly. Lilac, I'm still sorry about lying to you. The whole time, I made myself up to be someone beautiful, someone I wasn't. I believed I was truly a good person on the inside and that I deserved good things, even though I was selfish. He's already apologized to me before, too many times. Claude, you don't have to apologize. No, that witch was right to curse me. I've always had everything handed to me on a silver platter. When I came to Angiel, I believed that if I wasn't going to help break my curse, it wasn't important. I believed that if it wasn't going to help me break my curse, it wasn't important. Gotcha. And then I met you. At first I thought I would just have to get on your good side so you could help me dispel my curse. But then, Lilac, I realized I was drawn to your confidence and commitment. But I could never admit that I was in love with you. I was so scared that if I transformed into a beast that you were scared of me, I would lose my chance of winning your heart. So you see, princess, I was selfish. I wanted all of you without having to give you all of me. I look down at where our hands are intertwined, and I grip his fingers tighter. I've told you enough times now that you have nothing to apologize for. But if you insist on apologizing, maybe you ought to do something to make it up to me. Those words are out of my lips before I can even think of them. I stop suddenly, trying to ignore the hot flush in my cheeks. Claude looks at me, puzzled, and for a few moments I feel triumphant that I have caught him off guard. Then the puzzled look fades, and Claude just grins at me. Oh my, so Ford. Ford? I open my mouth to apologize when he suddenly grabs my hands and tugs me down onto the bed. The instincts Claude taught me in my sword fighting are quickly overwhelmed by my surprise, and in no time at all, he has me pinned down to the bed and is looming just above me, smiling. I'm disappointed. Princess, you knew my weakness, and you didn't even exploit it there. Your weakness? Yes. He leans close to me, and our noses almost touch. My weakness is you, Lilac. Ah. He leans down, and our lips finally meet. I relax into the contact, my earlier tension melting away as warmth flows through me. He pulls away and smiles at me. You see, I let my guard down in front of you. I let my guard down in front of him too. And only him. This whole time, all I've wanted to do is be able to touch him like this. His fingers move gently up my arm, and he leans down to kiss me again. Ah! The sound of knocking startles us both. A muffled voice comes through the door. Princess, the king is requesting your presence down in the dining hall. He says that your friends have arrived. Princess? I hear the doorknob begin to turn and quickly speak. Yes, I will be there in a minute. I will let him know, princess. First the curse and now this. It's as if the world is conspiring against us. He kisses me once more on the forehead before slowly sitting up and running a hand through his hair. I catch the mischievous look in his eyes as I smooth down my own ruffled hair. Don't worry, Lilac. We'll just finish this later. I feel my cheeks flush. You say such uncouth things. Claude chuckles before he stands up and offers his hand. I take it and smile up at him. I love you, Lilac, and now I get to say it as many times as I like. I love you too, Claude. I stand up on my toes to plant a quick kiss on his lips before heading to the door. Let's go, Claude. And that's the good ending. However, I still think it's a bad ending, or at least a normal ending, considering Fritz dies. Upsetting. This is cool that you get to see like all the moments with Karma in this like glass clock thing. So yeah, this was Cinderella Phenomenon. I am definitely not going to play the rest of this and unlock the other characters unless you guys want me to. You can tell me in the comments that you want me to, but otherwise, if no one tells me to, I ain't gonna. Because the fact that you have to get 100% of the choices correct is annoying. The fact that there are characters that are locked that you have to unlock is annoying. I don't know how you're supposed to unlock them because apparently it's not beating the game. Maybe you have to get a good ending to beat the game. We'll find out at the end of this. Fritz is dead, which is really messed up. I don't like that the good ending has Fritz die. That's just messed up. That's not cool. There is a part 2 to this game, which I am interested in playing. So I might be playing that sometime soon. But yeah. Thank you for playing Cinderella Phenomenon. Thank you for making Cinderella Phenomenon so that my friends would be like, hey, play this. And then I had to play it. I'm still upset. Why is Fritz dead? Oh, hey, his picture's there to tell you that you've completed his... Oh, that's cool. So, like, if you can't remember for some reason, he's there. And it doesn't say if I've unlocked or not. I don't know if I have to start a new game to find out if I've unlocked a character. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I will play this on my free time. Maybe someday later. Because I do want to play Rumple's storyline. Because I am interested. But yeah, if you guys want me to record when I play this for Rumple's storyline, or if you want me to play any of the other character storylines, let me know. I still am mad. Alright, anyways. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, comment below. All the things. Do all the things. And I hope you all have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Okay, bye.